Hello there, I'm Peggy, and I welcome you to our kitchen and some great food and some great recipes, which are yours free for the asking. And Marie Hegler is here with me from Clemson University, and she does what I call a bang-up job. I just love having you here.
I like being here. It's very fun.
We have a good time, and today she's talking about ways that we can reduce salt in our diet. And we need all of us. It doesn't matter what your age is, and we use a lot of salt and a lot of sugar in this country. And if we pull back a little bit, we'd probably all be better off.
This is true. As Americans, I think we tend to eat double, triple the amount of daily sodium we're supposed to consume. And it's not just table salt, which is sodium chloride. There's a lot of sodium in a lot of the highly processed foods that we eat, and it comes in different forms. Like sodium nitrate is used in curing meats. MSG, you see a lot of products with MSG. So it's kind of in a lot of different things. So you can do your part by just, when you're cooking, be aware of the foods that you're using, how much sodium those things have, before you start adding a bunch of table salt to already salty products or sodium-rich products. So today, we're going to make about 4 different components that are going to compose one dish or one meal, and it's going to be a Southwest chicken salad. So to start it off, we're going to make our own Southwest seasoning blend. And there's not going to be any salt in it, but if you wanted to add a little salt to it or add a little salt, it's somewhere along the line, it's fine. We're just going to start off with no salt.
Okay.
So I've got some spices that you might recognize, maybe some you don't. We're going to start off with a 1/4 cup of onion powder, which is in here. Then we're going to go to 2 tablespoons of chili powder. I pre-measure them.
Oh, that seems like a lot.
It is. So this is something we're not going to use all of it today. We're just so you could actually, once I make this, you could put it in an airtight container and keep it.
Oh,
you could add it to,
then you could add it as you need it.
Yes, yes. So we're not.
Okay.
We might use a good bit of it though. I don't know. We'll see. 2 tablespoons of ground cumin. Tablespoon of dried oregano. A tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes. And that's going to give it a little heat, not too much heat. If you don't want any heat, eliminate it. If you want to have more heat, you could put like cayenne pepper in it. This will be good. And then a tablespoon of garlic powder.
And you just kind of mix all that together?
Yes, ma'am. So you just mix it together. And again, you can, this is a good season. We're going to use it in a salad dressing, in a salsa, and then as a seasoning for some chicken. But if you were making tacos, you could use this for that. You could kind of use it as any way to flavor up something if you don't want to have to add a lot of salt. Because what you'll see throughout this is, if you look around, there's a lot of herbs, there's a lot of flavor components like vinegar, I have limes and garlic, and these are all ways to make something taste good without having to add a lot of salt to something. So we have our seasoning blend, which I'm going to use throughout this dish.
All right.
So I'm going to set it aside while I get the bean dip, or we're making a bean and corn salsa. And this is a go-to recipe that I make all the time for any kind of entertaining thing, because it makes a lot. So we're going to just use a little bit in the salad, but you can eat it just with tortilla chips, like a normal salsa. Okay. You could add as a garnish to something. It makes, I think, 8 cups, so a lot. So we're going to start off with just a can of red kidney beans. We're going to use black beans and kidney beans, just a normal size can. Rinse and drain. Rinsing and draining your beans, even if you get the reduced sodium, can cut back the sodium by 40%, say researchers. They did a study, which I thought was kind of neat. So that's a can of red kidney beans. You can do light, you can do dark, whichever one. Black beans, rinsed and drained, again. And then just a small, or you could use a large can of corn kernels. I use the vacuum packed ones because I feel like they're more whole kernel, because sometimes you get the pieces of the kernel. So it's a little bit, we're using some canned foods, and then we're going to mix it up.
So this would be an easy, quick thing to do.
But there's now we got a lot of chopping to do. So this does involve some chopping.
All right.
So I'm going to use 3 different bell peppers. I've already chopped some because it's a lot of chopping. I used a green one and a red one already chopped.
And those are the the whole pepper. I mean,
That's the whole pepper.
so there's one green pepper and one red pepper.
Red pepper, and then we're going to add one more pepper. And you could use all green peppers. You could use all red peppers. We're going to use these. I like the color of it. That's why.
Okay.
I did all of
So
them. So I'm going to cut up another orange one. Let's see.
But if you have a garden or whatever
Yeah.
you want would be okay.
Exactly. You could also use a yellow pepper would be pretty, but I had corn, so then I was trying to make it where there were a lot of different colors. And then you're just going to dice it up.
So it is colorful.
It is colorful. And plus, if you think about what's in it, we've got beans, which have lots of fiber, protein, good protein for you. We're going to add this bell pepper, and we're using different colors, and with every color of bell pepper, you're going to get a different antioxidant. So because the pigment of fruits and vegetables, the colorful pigments of your colorful fruits and vegetables, have a phytonutrient associated with the color, and those phytonutrients protect the plants and the fruits and vegetables from pollutants, pests, any kind of.
Excuse me.
So when we consume those compounds that protect plants, and therefore they protect us. So that's what when people talk about antioxidants, they're usually phytonutrients in your colorful fruits and vegetables. So this dish has a lot of phytonutrients in it. And you could also, I was saying, you could use it as a dip, just as a salsa, or you could put it in a tortilla. There's lots. It's a very versatile dish. So I'm gonna get done with this bell pepper, and then we're gonna add maybe a red onion. Is that what's next on there? I'm gonna use half of a red onion, which is gonna give it even more color.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I think all this spice got in.
I was gonna say it's probably it. It definitely is that when I was
You have how
making
many
it
different spices did you put together?
So I think it's like 6 spices.
Yeah, I thought.
And
believe
I bet
me, you can smell all these spices in here.
that red pepper flake probably.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, now you put the red onion in there.
I'm gonna put the red onion in there too.
Oh, you use it? That's like a half. You're not
That
going to
is
do
a
a
half.
whole
I'm not
one.
gonna use a whole one. And I kind of, hopefully this won't make us cry since we're already
Well, we'd be in trouble.
yeah. So I kind of halved it beforehand, thinking maybe it would not be as potent if I tried to chop it on here.
So we have, you've got 3 peppers
3 bell
plus
peppers.
a half of a red onion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Got a lot going on. Lots of different colors. So you could always use just regular onion. You can use no onion if you didn't want to use onion in it. Hopefully this won't. So chop this up. Everything's just diced up. So you could always, lots in stores, lots of times they have this stuff that's already pre-cut up. If you didn't feel like having to chop everything up.
Okay.
Whew. I'll tell you what, it's
And
about
you
to wear
said
me
this
out.
recipe makes quite a bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It does.
All right.
So we also have a jalapeno.
Uh-oh.
How do you feel about spicy food?
Well, I like, as long as it's not too spicy.
It's not going to be too spicy, and I'll show you why you don't have to add the jalapeno at all if you don't want to.
If you didn't want it, you could leave it out, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
wouldn't spoil the recipe.
Yes, definitely
All right.
not. And it's really hard to tell how hot a jalapeno is, so it's kind of like you're just kind of guessing.
It's a guessing game.
But if you don't like it too hot, what I usually do is the membrane and the seeds are where the heat is. And so I would normally just use like half of one.
Okay.
Instead of like this has got a lot going on. And even now I'm probably gonna not use all of it. So you can kind of cut around the membrane, throwing seeds everywhere. And then after you do this, when you're chopping up, if you have gloves and you're chopping up a jalapeno, I would suggest
Use
using
the gloves.
because I will tell you today, I will probably touch my eye, and I will remember that I did not use gloves.
I don't know, we'll be sneezing and crying all through the show.
I know, I'm starting to feel that burning my eyeballs. Okay, so you're just gonna mince up a jalapeno. This shouldn't be that potent because I'm not gonna use all the. All right, ooh, missing that. And then We're gonna add a little garlic to the dish as well. I already chopped up the garlic, but just to
Okay.
show you how, and I'm gonna probably use a little garlic in the dressing. So this is like 3 cloves of garlic, minced. So garlic, comes in a little bowl. An easy way to chop it, and I also am hesitant about chopping garlic up because my hands are gonna smell like garlic for a week now, but I do like it. So an easy way to do it is if you have a knife that has a pretty flat surface area, this is where you can take out your aggression,
Mash it.
mash it, and then this stuff pops off. And then you can just mince it up like you would anything else.
I tell you, you get in the kitchen with Marie, it can be lethal.
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
One time I did, this is a side story, with the red pepper flakes, I was supposed to infuse some olive oil. This is when I was at Clemson in a dorm, and I was going to infuse some olive oil with some red pepper, and the oil got too hot, and then I put the red pepper flakes in there, and they burned, and it was like, it was as if somebody had sprayed pepper spray throughout the dorm. Or it wasn't a dorm, it was an apartment.
Now that is, so you're adding more garlic.
No, I'm going to save that
you're saving
for something
that.
else.
Okay, all right.
So now I'm going to do the dressing
All right.
for this. I'm going to give it a little stir.
Stir it all up. Look how colorful that is. Oh, that's beautiful.
So that's just,
And it does make a big bowl.
it does. It kind of you don't think it's going to, and then I always end up using a smaller bowl than I need, and I'm like, whoa, this is going to make more than I thought. So we're going to make just a little dressing to go with this, and I think it's a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar.
Okay.
You could use apple cider vinegar if you felt so inclined to do so.
Okay.
Then we're just going to use a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
And then a little lime.
And you can keep this
Yes, ma'am.
if you make it ahead, and
You can make this ahead of time.
How
and
long
then,
will it keep?
I would say, well, it depends on how long you want to eat on it, because it's not so much safe-wise. You could probably keep it for a few days or more.
All right.
But
in the
it might just
refrigerator.
not be as
Yeah,
crisp
okay.
as you would like it to be.
All right.
And then I'm going to add a little bit. I'm going to check. I'm going to add a little bit of 2 tablespoons of the seasoning, and then we'll be done.
So that you've already prepared goes in here too.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So the seasoning goes in there. I'm going to grab a whisk. Whisk it up. And we're going to add it to this. And actually, this is good if you do make it ahead of time and let it sit and kind of, with the dressing, to kind of get all the flavors absorbed into the different.
All right, now what do you call this?
This is a bean and corn salsa.
Okay, with your vinaigrette dressing.
With the, well, this is a different little dressing.
Okay.
Well, we got another one to make.
All right.
All right.
All right. Now this is ready to serve?
One more thing. I'm going to add some cilantro to it.
Okay.
So I just got a little.
You just chop that up and put it in there.
And you don't have to, if you don't like cilantro.
All right, now let me ask you, we have to go to a break. I want to ask
do
you,
it.
what do you serve this with? What would you serve it with?
Tortilla chips, just
Okay.
as like a salsa.
All right.
You could make a little. We're going to put it on top of the salad as a component of the salad with the chicken. If you made some chicken or any kind of meat, fish, you could serve it as a little garnish over it. You could put it in a tortilla wrap and eat it just as is, because it's got beans, it's got everything you need. So I mean, it's pretty.
So there we go.
It's pretty versatile.
Cilantro. Okay. Now look, Marie does. This is beautiful, and it's full of information plus recipes, and we'd love to share it with you. And if you can send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Peggy Denny Show, Post Office Box 1616, Greenville, South Carolina 29602. And the number for the recipe is 840. Easy to remember, 840. And or you can just click on peggydenny.com and we'll try to have it there. Now we're going to go to a quick break, and Marie has all these things to do, so we'll be right back.